Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Katrina and today we'll flow through a soft body opening yoga practice. We can start at the top of the mat in a standing forward fold. So you can bring your feet hip width distance apart, grounding through all four corners of the feet. You can guide the hips towards the ceiling or the sky, and then see if you can bring a soft bend into the knees and really release your upper body over the thighs so that your stomach, your ribs come into contact with the legs. We'll then grab opposite elbows, so coming into a ragdoll pose where you can really allow your upper body to hang over the legs. Allowing the stomach and the rib cages to come into contact with the thighs. And naturally you might feel a lengthening through the lower back. Release through the head, through the neck, just allowing the head to be heavy. And if you like, you can find a slight swaying movement here. Just gently swaying from side to side. See how that feels in the hips, the lower back, maybe the neck and the shoulders too. Starting to connect to your breath here. Drawing a deeper inhale in through the nose. And then out through the nose. And again, inhale. And exhale. You can keep that swaying movement or come into stillness in your forward fold. We'll take one final big inhale in through the nose. Fill the lungs entirely and then open the mouth to sigh the air out. You can release your hands onto the mat. We'll inhale, finding length in the spine. You can bring your hands onto the shins too. And then exhale, fold over the legs. We'll do that once more. Inhale, length. And exhale, fold over. Beautiful. We'll then keep our left hand grounded, either on the mat or you can also bring it onto the right ankle. Reach the right arm up. You can bend through the left knee here. So coming into a twist in our forward fold. Create one long line from the left fingertips to the right and then maybe gaze up. Inhale, length. And then as you exhale, circle the right hand down. We switch sides. Right knee bends, left arm lifts up. Lengthen through the spine and then twist as you exhale. Taking one more inhale here. And then exhale, the left hand circles back down. We're going to interlace our fingers behind the back of the head. And then see if you can relax through the elbows and really draw your chin towards your chest. Allowing the weight of the arms to add a slight stretch into the back of the neck, towards the upper back. And just see how that feels, gently pushing the chin towards the chest. Take an inhale. Then as we exhale, we can start to roll the spine all the way up to standing, one vertebra at a time. Finally coming up to standing. Still keeping your hands at the back of the head. Now opening up through the elbows, we'll extend, open up through the chest. See if you can pull the shoulder blades together behind the back and move the elbows back. So opening up through the entire front body. Inhale. And then as you exhale, you could release your hands, your arms down. From here, we inhale, reaching up through the arms. And then as we exhale, we release the arms through the sides. Find a slight bend in the knees as you release into a forward fold. Lengthen as you inhale, gazing forward. Exhale, fold over the legs. Then rolling all the way back up to standing, we reach the arms up. Inhale. Moving through that sequence again, find softness in the knees, circle the arms round and down into your forward fold. Inhale, length. Exhale, fold over the legs. Then slight bend at the knees. We roll all the way up. Arms circle up as well. Final round, inhale. And then release into your forward fold. Exhale. Length as you inhale. And then we're going to walk our feet towards the sides of the mat. You can slightly point the toes out. And then drop the hips down, coming into a malasana, so our yogi squat. Elbows stay at the insides of the knees, and then you can bring your hands to heart center. So allowing that position to push the knees out. We find length in the spine. Shoulders drop down, shoulder blades drop down. Pulling down along the spine. Back of the neck is long. Well done. We stay here for an inhale. And then as we exhale, we tilt forward over the legs. You can walk the feet a little bit closer to each other again. Take a long inhale, lengthen. And then as we exhale, we keep our fingertips on the mat and step the right foot back behind us. We'll open the left foot out into a lizard pose, so the toes point out a little bit here. You can either bring the right knee off the mat or keep it on the mat. And we find a bit of swaying movement here if you have your knee off the mat. If you have the knee on the mat, you can also sway from side to side. That might feel good. So see what feels best for your hips in this moment for this practice. If you want to come down onto the forearms, you can do that too. That often goes a little bit deeper into the left inner thigh. And take a few more cycles of breath just here. We're then going to ground our right hand down and see if you can start to bend through the right knee and perhaps grab the foot with your left hand. If you've got a grip of the foot, you can either start kicking that foot back, opening through the chest, or maybe pulling the foot a little bit closer to the sitting bones. Depending on what region of the body you'd like that stretch, the intense opening to focus on. Beautiful. Take one more inhale. And then as we exhale, you can release the foot. You can bring your left hand back to the front of the mat. We're going to lift the left foot off the mat and move it all the way towards the back of the mat. So we come into a supported side plank. You can plant the left foot down, really pressing it down onto the mat, and then reach the left arm over. Pressing down through the right hand. Keep the shoulders strong as you lengthen. Long arm all the way to the fingertips, and the outer edge of the left foot is grounding down. Beautiful. Take an inhale. Then as we exhale, the left hand comes down. We're going to circle the left foot all the way forward and then bend through the left knee. We find a low lunge as we inhale, reaching up through the arms. You can either keep the right toes tucked or keep the foot flat. Dropping in towards the hips as far as feels good, and see if you can still keep them squared. Inhale, length. Then as we exhale, we'll drop the left hand down. You can either bring it onto the lower back or all the way onto the back of the right thigh. And then maybe find a slight back bend here. A nice little twist for the spine, for the upper body. Maybe gaze up towards the top hand. Inhale. And then exhale, we bring both hands back onto the mat. Tuck the right toes under if they weren't already. And then step back into a forward fold. We inhale for length. And exhale, fold over. Then stepping the left foot back. You can bring the knee down or keep it lifted as we open the right foot out towards the side of the mat. So see which variation of this pose you want to take. You can always lift the knee up, maybe sway back and forth, or keep the knee down. And then coming down onto the forearms is also a lovely option if you want to go a little bit deeper into the pose. breathing deep here in your variation of a lizard pose. And then we're going to start to circle back. The right arm moves back as we start to bend the left knee, perhaps grabbing a hold of the foot. You can press the foot against the hand, kicking it back, or alternatively use the hand to move the foot closer to the sitting bones. Opening up through the chest, enjoying the stretch. Take an inhale. And then as we exhale, releasing the foot, you can move your right hand back to the top of the mat. And we pick the right foot up, moving it all the way to the back of the mat, finding that supported side plank. Right foot grounds, right arm reaches up and over. Finding length in the right side of the body. Ground down through the right foot really firmly, and then create length. Well done. Take an inhale. And then as we exhale, right hand grounds back down. We pick the right foot up, move it all the way towards the top of the mat. And then bend through the knee. Inhale into a low lunge position. Dropping as far into the hips as feels good. Keep breathing here. Coming back into that breath. In every pose, in every transition, making it mindful. We inhale, and then as we exhale, the right hand drops down either onto the lower back or all the way onto the back of the left thigh, and then we reach up and over. Inhale, gaze up if you have the balance, and then exhale. Both hands come back down. This time round, you can tuck the left toes under and then just move the right knee back into a tabletop position. We inhale, drop the heart down, come into a cow pose as you lift your gaze up and the sitting bones up to exhale, round, push the mat away. Inhale, cow pose again, pull the shoulders back and down. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, open, one final round. Really enjoying this movement for the spine. Exhale. Taking one final cow pose, inhale. And then as we exhale, make sure the toes are tucked under. We start to lift the hips up into a downward facing dog. You can find a bit of movement here. Maybe moving the weight from one foot to the other, maybe bending one knee at a time. See how this feels in the backs of the legs, the lower back. And just breathing into the tight spaces, allowing yourself to settle into this first down dog of this practice. Take an inhale in and out. With our next inhale, we ripple forward. So one vertebra at a time through a round spine. We're going to find a plank pose. Well done. You can drop the knees down and then bring your weight all the way onto the mat. Hands under the shoulders. We'll take a baby cobra here. Reaching forward through the chest, back through the shoulders, and exhale down. We'll increase the cobra in size just a little bit, inhaling up again, and exhale back down. We'll do that one final time, maybe growing your cobra in size a little bit more. And exhale down. Well done. Hands still under the shoulders. We're going to lift up. Knees can stay grounded. And then push back into a child's pose. Resting your head on the mat. You can find a bit of a swaying movement here. Maybe moving the knees a little bit further from each other so there's space between the legs for your upper body to rest. Take one more full breath here. And then we're going to roll the spine up into a seat. I'm going to move forward just a little bit to have space. We're going to come into half camels on both sides. So you can come up onto your knees, so standing on the knees. You can tuck your toes under if that feels a bit more stable for you. Then we're going to bring our left hand onto the lower back. And then inhale, reach the right arm up. And then as we exhale, we start to gently push our hips forward. Imagine a string pulling your chest up. So instead of thinking of a back bend, imagine moving upward through the chest. Moving as deep as feels good. Keep pushing the hips forward. Keep breathing. If you want to drop your left hand onto the left heel, you can also do that. Moving gently into these back bends, we inhale. And then as we exhale, you can slowly, bit by bit, come back up to a straight spine. Well done. Take a breath here. And then we move to the other side. The right hand comes onto the right side of the lower back. We inhale, reach the left arm up. Find length here first. And then we start to gently open through the front of the body. Just moving the chest up. You can move your gaze up too. If you want to go deeper straight away, you can drop your right hand onto the right heel. Going a little bit deeper into that back bend. Beautiful. Keep breathing. Take an inhale. And then start to find your way back up to center, releasing both hands. You can untuck the toes if they were tucked. And now find a child's pose where you hold your heels with your hands rounding through the spine. Take a few breaths here. And just coming back to any sensations along the spine, the neck, the hips. Well done. You can release your hands, bring them under the shoulders, hips under the knees. And then from here, we're going to walk our hands forward towards the top of the mat, coming into a puppy pose. So melting our hearts down towards the mat, maybe resting your forehead on the mat, or if you're feeling quite mobile, flexible through the upper back and the neck today, you can also lift your gaze up. Reaching up through the sitting bones. Keep breathing here. Take an inhale. Then as we exhale, we start to ground our forearms down, sliding forward with our weight, and then releasing the hips onto the mat. If you need to slide the legs back a little bit as well, you can do that. Once the hips are comfortably on the mat, you can sway them from side to side. Make sure the lower back relaxes. We have approximately a 90-degree angle in the elbows. And then see if you can pull your shoulders, your shoulder blades back. Really grounding down through the fingertips. Imagine yourself pulling the mat backwards through the fingertips so you get that lovely opening in the chest, the collarbones, and the pulling back through the shoulder blades. If you want to, you can drop your head down for a moment and maybe just allow it to sway from side to side. You'll get a lovely opening for the back of the neck if there's any tension there. So there's many variations you can do with your head here. You can also keep it upright. See what feels best. Just listening to your body. We'll take one more breath here. And then as we exhale, we slide the hands back under the shoulders. You can tap your forehead onto the mat. Then as we inhale, come into a cobra. Open up through the chest. Exhale. Come back onto the mat. You can tuck the toes under, push back onto hands and knees. Maybe walking your knees in a little bit, bringing them a little bit wider apart. We sit back into a child's pose. Coming towards the end of our practice. Find a comfortable position here. Releasing through the lower back and the hips. Releasing your forehead onto the mat. See if you can walk the fingertips a little bit further to bring length into the spine. And returning to a very still place. Into a very soft place, and just see how your body is feeling in this moment after that soft practice. After finding a bit of space in different parts of the bodies, after honoring our bodies through gentle movement, through loving movement. Take one more deep breath here. And exhale out. You can then start to walk your hands back up, coming into a seat over the heels. Maybe still keep the eyes closed for a moment as you find stillness here. You can rest your hands down wherever they naturally fall. Shoulders drop down. And see if you can drop down into a place that feels very soft, very natural for you. No need to put any effort into just being in this moment. And maybe making the effort to find more of these kinds of moments in your day where you can just be, where you can just sit with yourself without having to put any effort into it. When you feel ready, you can bring your hands to heart center. We'll take one more really, really big breath in through the nose. Fill the lungs up all the way. And then open the mouth, sigh the air out. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I hope it was enjoyable for you. I for sure feel a little bit more open, and a soft practice like this really served me today quite well. If you enjoy practicing with me, please do subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and let me know in the comment section what you thought of the flow. I love chatting with all of you in the comment section of all the videos. It's so lovely to connect with all of you practicing here with me. I post a new video every week, so I'm here on Thursdays. So I really hope I see you next week as well. Thank you.